At high tide, the great vermilion torii of Itsukushima appears to float, a serene gateway suspended between the sea and the sky. This ethereal design is no mere aesthetic choice. It is a profound act of reverence born from ancient Shinto belief. For centuries, the entire island of Miyajima was considered a deity in itself, a sacred ground too pure for commoners to tread upon. To solve this, the shrine was ingeniously constructed on piers over the water. Arriving pilgrims would pass through the torii by boat and enter the complex's interconnected boardwalks and halls, allowing them to worship without ever defiling the hallowed earth. This twice-daily transformation, from a floating sanctuary to an earthbound temple revealed by the receding tide, has been a constant rhythm since its main structures were established in the 12th century. Itsukushima is therefore more than a building. It is a living dialogue between human devotion and the immutable power of the ocean, a testament to a faith that sought not to conquer the landscape, but to commune with it in a state of perfect tidal harmony. Here on the Wairarapa coast, the land tells a story of immense upheaval, a chronicle written in stone and shell. This entire headland, a dramatic sweep against the sky, is not built of volcanic rock as one might expect, but is a ghost of the ancient ocean floor, a vast limestone reef, rich with the fossilized remains of countless scallops and barnacles, their delicate forms still embedded within the pale, weathered stone, as a testament to a long-vanished marine world. This entire mass was thrust violently upwards from the seabed in a cataclysmic geological event over 2 million years ago. The landmark that gives this place its English name, Castle Rock, rises a sheer 162 meters, a stark, jagged monument dominating the skyline, a pale sentinel bearing silent witness to these incredible tectonic forces. Today, this uplifted, Here, at the northernmost point of Unguja Island, the converging currents of the Indian Ocean have sculpted more than just a coastline. They have shaped a culture. For centuries, Nungwi has been the epicenter of Zanzibar's dhow-building tradition, a legacy carried not in blueprints, but in the hands and memories of its master craftsmen. Using little more than an adze and time-honored instinct, they transform hardwood from the island's interior into the elegant, seaworthy vessels that have plied these waters for over 1,000 years. This deep human history is etched upon a remarkable geological canvas. The sand itself is a testament to the ocean's patient work. It is not silica, but pulverized coral, which is why it remains so luminously white and astonishingly cool under the equatorial sun. Nungui, therefore, is not simply a destination. It is a living intersection of geology and genealogy. A place where the timeless rhythm of the tide is met by the steady, percussive cadence of the shipwright's craft, each shaping the other in a delicate, enduring balance. Long before it became the spiritual heart of Portugal, this city was Bracara Augusta, capital of the Roman province of Galatia, and a vital administrative and judicial center founded over 2,000 years ago. But its formidable Roman legacy, with its foundational stones and grid-like streets, is often overshadowed by a later, more potent claim to power that reshaped its very identity. For centuries, the Archbishop of Braga held the formidable title of Primate of the Spains, a claim that placed him at the apex of the ecclesiastical hierarchy, asserting spiritual dominion not just over Portugal, but over the entire Iberian Peninsula in a direct challenge to the See of Toledo. This profound ambition is not merely a footnote in dusty archives. It is carved with deliberate grandeur into the very stone and soul of the city. The relentless, near-constant peal of bells from its more than 30 churches forms a symphony of clerical authority, while the exuberant Baroque facades, with their dramatic flourishes and opulent ornamentation, are not just passive displays of faith. They are enduring, almost defiant, declarations of influence and immense wealth, built to inspire awe and command respect. To wander these elegant streets is to understand that Braga is far more than a simple city of prayer. It is a meticulously crafted and theatrical landscape of authority, where every soaring arch, every gilded altar, and every stone-carved saint tells a singular, compelling story of the indivisible bond between divine and earthly power. While much of Japan is a testament to centuries of human refinement, Hokkaido feels like a primordial canvas, still being painted by the forces that forged it. The island sits astride the Pacific Ring of Fire, a volatile geological stage where a significant portion of the nation's active volcanoes reside. This isn't ancient history. It is a living, breathing reality. You see it in the steam that hisses from the fumaroles of Noboribetsu, staining the rocks with sulfurous yellows and reds, and feel it in the profound warmth of the onsen, a cultural cornerstone born directly from this subterranean heat. This constant geothermal activity has sculpted the very soul of the island, carving vast calderas that now cradle serene lakes and shaping the fertile plains that eventually invited settlement. Every perfectly conical mountain on the horizon is a monument to a violent past. A quiet reminder that this northern frontier is not a static landscape, but a dynamic realm where the Earth's creative and destructive energies are in constant, awe-inspiring dialogue. The approach to Gruyere presents a classic tableau of Alpine Switzerland. A walled medieval town crowning a solitary hill, standing sentinel over the green basin of the Saône Valley. But its storybook perfection is no accident. It is the direct result of a calculated 5-century-long dynasty. From the 11th to the 16th century, this was the formidable seat of the Counts of Gruyere, a lineage whose very name is tied to a founding legend. It is said the first count, seeing a crane, or grue in French, alight on this strategic peak, took it as an omen and established his fortress, immortalizing the bird on his coat of arms. This history dictates the town's entire design, from its single, broad cobblestone street leading to the chateau, to the ramparts that encircle it. The dynasty's eventual bankruptcy in 1554 was a financial footnote that paradoxically became the town's architectural salvation, freezing its feudal character in time and preserving the very essence of a world built, not for tourists, but for power. The true architect of Monterey's dramatic coastline lies hidden from view, a silent titan shaping all that we see and feel. Just beyond the breaking waves, the Monterey Submarine Canyon carves a chasm through the seabed, a feature as vast and deep as the Grand Canyon, plunging more than 2 miles into the Pacific abyss. This immense underwater gorge, stretching for nearly 100 miles, acts as a powerful conduit, funneling frigid, nutrient-dense waters from the deep ocean to the sunlit surface. This constant upwelling is the very engine of life in the bay. It fuels the spectral, swaying kelp forests, nourishes the microscopic plankton that draws in migrating humpback whales, and creates the precise conditions that allowed the southern sea otter to return from the brink of extinction. It is the same natural wealth that once supported the immense sardine fishery, immortalized by Steinbeck, a story of boom and bust written into the very geology of this place. Here, on this edge of the continent, every misty morning and every cry of a sea lion is an echo from the unseen depths, a constant reminder that the world we perceive is merely the surface of a much deeper, more powerful narrative. The journey into Nultar is a passage through deep time, a transition from the sun-scorched rock of the Karakoram into a world forged by ancient fire and ice. This entire valley is a geological anomaly, a remnant of the Kohistan Island arc, a chain of oceanic volcanoes crushed between the colliding Indian and Eurasian continents over 50 million years ago. The evidence of this violent genesis is written not in stone, but in water. The valley's three main lakes, fed by glacial melt from peaks that soar above 4,000 meters, possess an almost unnatural vibrancy. Their startling blues and greens are a direct result of this tectonic past. A liquid tapestry colored by specific minerals, leached from the unique metamorphic rock that forms the valley floor. It's a profound reminder that the most tranquil landscapes are often born from the planet's most tumultuous events, their serene surfaces belying a history of immense pressure and unimaginable time. Kilimanjaro rises from the Tanzanian plains with a profound, almost defiant, solitude. Unlike the great folded ranges of the world, it is a singular giant, a stratovolcano born of immense subterranean fire nearly 1 million years ago. What the distant view conceals is that this is not one mountain, but a trinity of peaks. The journey to its summit is a traverse across the ghosts of three distinct volcanic cones. The ancient, collapsed caldera of Shira to the west, the jagged, shattered spires of the extinct Mwenzi to the east, and between them, the ice-crowned Kibo. This central peak, where the true summit of Uhuru lies, is merely dormant, not dead, its last major eruption occurring over 360,000 years ago. To walk the vast, barren saddle connecting these peaks is to cross a high-altitude desert that was once a violent nexus of creation. Each step is a testament to a geological history that is both epic and still subtly unfolding. A quiet pilgrimage through deep time, where the very ground tells the story of its own fiery birth. To understand Lahore, one must look beyond its modern sprawl and into its ancient heart, a city strategically born on the banks of the Ravi River, a vital artery for empires. The famed walled city, the Andran Shahr, was once encircled by a formidable 9-meter-high brick wall, punctuated by 13 monumental gates. These were not merely defensive structures. Each gate was a socio-economic portal, governing the flow of commerce, culture, and conquest that defined the city's fortunes for over 1,000 years. Today, though most of the original wall is gone, its legacy is imprinted on the very layout of the old city, a dense, organic labyrinth where centuries of architecture collide, and the air is thick with the aroma of spice markets and the echoes of artisans' hammers. It is a place that doesn't just display its history, it breathes it, offering a profound lesson in how a city's past remains the blueprint for its present, shaping every footstep and every future. Christchurch, a city conceived thousands of miles away as a deliberate slice of England, unfolds along the gentle curves of the Otakaro, the Avon River. Its Maori name, meaning the place of a game, speaks to a much older, pre-colonial history, a stark contrast to the rigid grid and Gothic spires envisioned by its 19th century Anglican founders. For over 150 years, this identity held firm. But the city's modern story is now defined by a profound rupture and a remarkable rebirth. The seismic events of 2010 and 2011 didn't just topple masonry, they fractured a timeline, forcing a city to reimagine its very foundation. Today, a walk through its central grid reveals a compelling architectural dialogue between memory and ambition. Heritage stone facades stand beside bold, seismically resilient structures, while vibrant street art breathes life into once empty spaces. This is not a landscape of simple recovery, but of active, deliberate reinvention, a living blueprint for resilience, etched in glass, steel, and an unshakable human spirit. To truly understand Istanbul, one must first understand the water that defines it. The Bosphorus is no mere channel. It is a drowned river valley, a geological infant born only some 7,500 years ago when the Mediterranean breached the land and flooded the Black Sea basin. For millennia, its powerful, layered currents and strategic narrowness, less than 700 meters at its tightest point, made this the most coveted and defensible choke point on Earth. Every empire that has risen and fallen here did so by mastering this waterway, controlling the immense flow of trade, culture, and conflict between two seas and two continents. Today, the steady procession of tankers and the crisscrossing ferries are a modern rhythm set to an ancient beat, a constant reminder that this city was not simply built beside the water, but was forged by its very power and presence, a permanent confluence of currents, both visible and historical. The brilliant white shores of the Yaeyama archipelago appear as a vision of pure, elemental simplicity. Yet the story of this landscape is one of immense complexity and deep time. These islands are not born of volcanic fire, but are instead a vast geological tapestry woven from Ryukyu limestone, the fossilized skeletons of ancient coral reefs, lifted from the ocean floor over the course of 200,000 years. The very sand that shifts underfoot is a granular chronicle of marine existence, composed of the ground-down fragments of coral, foraminifera, and shells. This unique limestone foundation is the primary reason for the region's legendary water clarity, as the porous rock filters the sea to a state of impossible transparency. Here, the boundary between land and ocean feels permeable, a constant dialogue between the living and the ancestral. Today's vibrant reefs, sheltering more than 400 species of coral, are quite literally building upon the legacy of their forebears, reminding us that to stand on an Ishigaki beach is to stand atop a library of life, a testament to the ocean's patient, cyclical artistry. The name, Interlaken, meaning between the lakes, offers a deceptively simple description for a landscape sculpted by immense geological power. For thousands of years following the last ice age, this entire valley was a single, vast body of water. It was the relentless work of the Lucina and Lombok rivers, carrying tons of glacial sediment down from the high peaks, that gradually built the Bodili, the very plain upon which the town now rests, effectively splitting one lake into two. This same glacial flower, held in suspension, is what gives Lake Brienz its almost supernatural turquoise hue, a constant, luminous reminder of the mountain's ongoing erosion. Interlaken is therefore more than a town with a view. It is a settlement on a river delta, a natural crossroads carved by ice and water. It was this unique geography that first established it as a vital corridor, and later, in the 19th century, as the definitive gateway for a new age of alpine exploration, a legacy it continues to honor. To comprehend the Fijian archipelago is to read a story written in fire and sculpted by water. These 333 islands are not a simple volcanic chain, but the dramatic consequence of immense geological forces, a remote stage where the colossal Pacific and Indo-Australian tectonic plates have wrestled for millennia. This constant, slow-motion collision fractured the Earth's crust, thrusting jagged landmasses from the deep to form the rugged mountainous spines of Viti Levu and Vanua Levu. These ancient volcanic hearts, some rising over 1,300 meters, are now fringed by the patient work of countless generations of coral, which have built some of the world's most extensive and vibrant reef systems. Here lies the profound paradox of Fiji, a landscape forged in unimaginable violence, which has since mellowed into one of the planet's most serene and life-sustaining sanctuaries, a testament to the enduring power of creation over destruction. Nestled on a small delta along the southern shore of Lake Brienz, Iseltwald seems to float upon a canvas of impossible color. This luminous turquoise is not an illusion, but a geological signature. It's the result of glacial milk, countless fine sediment particles carried down from the high peaks by the Aar and Lucina rivers, which remain suspended in the water and scatter the light. For centuries, this glacial lake was the village's lifeline and its barrier, the primary means of connection to the outside world, until a road was finally carved along the shore in 1888. On its peninsula, the Seaberg, a castle with foundations from the 12th century, stands as a silent witness to this long, water-bound history. You begin to understand that the village's profound tranquility isn't just an atmosphere, it's a legacy, forged by the slow, deliberate pace of geology and the enduring isolation of the water, a place shaped as much by glacial silt as by human settlement. Strasbourg, the city of roads, has always been defined by its position at a continental crossroads. Cradled by the arms of the River Ill, its historic heart, the Grande Ile, is more than a picturesque island. In 1988, it became the first entire city center to be granted UNESCO World Heritage status, a testament to a remarkably preserved urban fabric. Here, the centuries speak through the timber-framed houses of Petite France, once home to tanners and fishermen, and in the soaring Gothic ambition of the Cathedral Notre Dame, whose single spire dominated the Christian world for over 200 years. The city's very architecture reveals its dual soul, a seamless blend of French elegance and Germanic rigor, born from a history of being passed between two great powers. This constant cultural exchange, once a source of conflict, has forged a unique identity, transforming a contested borderland into a capital of a united Europe, and proving that from the friction of history, something truly resilient and beautiful can emerge. Emerging from the mist at over 1,100 meters above sea level, Way Rebo presents a vision that feels suspended in time. Its 7 iconic Mbaruniang houses, their conical thatched roofs spiraling towards the heavens, are far more than just dwellings. They are a complete cosmology rendered in bamboo and palm fiber. Each structure is meticulously divided into 5 distinct levels, ascending from the communal living space at the base to the uppermost sacred attic, the Hekang Code, where offerings are made to the ancestors. This vertical design is a masterclass in efficiency, a self-contained system for living, storing harvests, and preserving sacred heirlooms, all under a single roof. This architectural ingenuity is a direct response to the village's profound isolation, a necessity born from being cradled within the floor's highlands, shielded by the very landscape that has preserved its unique Manggarai traditions for over 18 generations. It stands as a testament not to resisting the outside world, but to creating a complete one within its own secluded valley. Here, at the westernmost edge of the European continent, the words of the great poet Camões are etched into stone. Onde a terra se acaba, e o mar começa, where the land ends and the sea begins. But this is more than a poetic sentiment. It's a statement of geological finality. These 140-meter cliffs are not mere coastline. They are the unyielding granite of the Sintra Massif, an ancient igneous intrusion forced upwards from the Earth's mantle. To the Romans, this was Promontorium Magnum, the Great Promontory, a formidable barrier beyond which lay the unknown. Standing here, with the relentless Atlantic winds scouring the rock and the lighthouse standing its patient vigil, you feel that same primal sense of an ending. It's a place that doesn't just mark a coordinate on a map, but rather a profound and historic threshold between the solid, known world and the vast, liquid mystery that has challenged and beckoned humanity for thousands of years. What we are descending into is not, in the strictest sense, a crater, but a caldera, the world's largest, intact, and unfilled, the ghost of a colossal volcano that collapsed in on itself some 3 million years ago. Its walls, rising 600 meters from the floor, enclose an area of 260 square kilometers, creating a self-contained world, Unlike the great migratory herds of the surrounding Serengeti, most of the crater's inhabitants live here year-round, sustained by permanent springs and lush grasslands. This unique stability has fostered one of the densest, large mammal populations on Earth, a sanctuary they have historically shared with the Maasai people, who were permitted to graze their cattle on the crater floor. It is a geological masterpiece, a near-perfect enclosure that has become a microcosm of the East African savanna. Here, the grand theater of life plays out on a contained stage, offering an unparalleled glimpse into an ecosystem in magnificent, concentrated balance. At the mouth of the estuary, Moro Rock stands not as a mere landmark, but as a geological full stop, the final punctuation on a sentence written across millions of years. It is the last and most seaward of the Nine Sisters, a chain of dacite volcanic plugs that punched through the Earth's crust some 23 million years ago. These are the hardened throats of extinct volcanoes, a line of sentinels marching from the interior to the coast. The name itself, El Morro, the headland, was bestowed by explorer Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo in 1542, a fleeting moment in the rock's immense lifespan. Yet its presence is the very reason for the town's existence, creating a natural breakwater that shelters a working harbor. In its lee, the rhythms of human endeavor, the fishing fleet heading out at dawn, play out alongside the timeless cycles of nature, as sea otters forage in the calm and peregrine falcons nest upon its ancient cliffs. It serves as a constant, quiet reminder that the stage for our brief lives is often set by forces of unimaginable age and power. Here, at an elevation of over 7,000 feet, the very concept of a desert is redefined. This is the Katpana, a vast expanse of silken sand dunes nestled within Pakistan's Skardu Valley, earning it the title of the world's highest cold desert. The fine, wind-sculpted grains are not the product of relentless sun, but of a profound geological circumstance. Locked in the rain shadow of the colossal, Himalayan, and Karakoram ranges, the land is starved of moisture, receiving less than 10 inches of precipitation annually. The nearby Indus River, a lifeline carving its way through the mountains, seems a world away from this arid basin. In winter, a surreal transformation occurs as snow blankets these dunes, creating a stark, monochromatic landscape of white on gray. It is a powerful testament to the fact that a desert's identity is forged not by heat, but by its stark and persistent lack of water. The Katpana exists as a paradox, a place of immense cold and profound dryness, where the forces of altitude and atmosphere conspire to create one of Earth's most unusual and captivating environments. To truly understand Yogyakarta, one must look beyond its vibrant street life and into its very design, which follows an ancient, unseen blueprint. The city was conceived not merely by urban planners, but by philosophers, laid out with deliberate precision along a sacred 6-kilometer cosmological axis. This invisible line forms a direct spiritual conduit, connecting the formidable, life-giving volcano, Mount Merapi, in the north, with the mystical Southern Sea, realm of the spirit queen Loro Kidul. At its exact center sits the Kraton, the Sultan's palace, acting as the pivotal link between these powerful natural and supernatural worlds. This is why the Sultan is regarded as more than a political leader. He is the spiritual fulcrum, maintaining cosmic harmony. Every grand avenue and ceremonial gate is oriented along this path, transforming the entire city into a living diagram of Javanese philosophy. A constant, quiet reminder that here, the human world is intrinsically woven into the fabric of the universe itself. The Pyrenees are not merely a political border. They are the physical scar of a continental collision, a seam stitched across Europe. Some 50 million years ago, the landmass that would become Iberia rotated and ground into the Eurasian plate, a slow-motion impact of unimaginable force. This immense geological pressure didn't just raise jagged peaks, it folded and fractured the Earth's crust, creating a complex tapestry of ancient granite cores and younger limestone foothills. You can see the evidence of this violence in the dramatic east-west spine of the range and the deep, steep-sided valleys carved by subsequent glaciers. This formidable terrain has, for millennia, dictated the flow of cultures and armies, creating isolated communities and serving as a natural fortress. It is a landscape forged by forces almost beyond comprehension, a reminder that the stage upon which human history unfolds was set long before our arrival. To truly understand Dunedin, one must look past its celebrated Victorian facades and deep into the land itself. The city and its sheltering harbor are cradled within the eroded remnants of a massive shield volcano that last erupted some 10 million years ago. This ancient, violent geology provided not only the dramatic backdrop, but also the very stone from which Dunedin was built. Yet, its grand character was forged in a much more recent fire, the Otago Gold Rush of the 1860s. For a brief, dazzling period, this was New Zealand's most prosperous city, and that sudden wealth was poured into stone and slate, a conscious effort to recreate a Scottish capital at the end of the world. The result is a unique urban landscape where the fleeting ambition of a gold boom is permanently etched into volcanic rock, a testament to human history being written upon a page of deep geological time.